Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 12th Annual Naples International Film Festival and this special TalkBack Q&A. I'm Shannon Franklin, festival producer. We want to give a big thank you to our TalkBack sponsors, Saran and Stan Kraushar. I hope you guys are as excited as I am for our very special guest from the narrative feature, Definition Please. I would like to start by introducing the writer, producer, director, and star of Definition Please, Sujata Day. Hello, Sujata.
Hi Shannon.
Hi, how are you?
Excited to be here at Naples, albeit virtually, but that's okay.
We'll get you here in person one day soon, I certainly hope. I was thinking that maybe you want to introduce some of our other special guests.
Yes, so we have here with us Ritesh Rajan, who plays Sunny in my film, and we also have Anna Khaja, who plays the luminous Jaya.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Welcome. We are so excited to have you here. Thank you for making time. And like I said, we wish we could have you here in person, but you know what? We're so thrilled to have you here via, technology. So
we'll make it happen.
Make it, absolutely. So, I'd love to start these things off probably with you, Sujata, to talk about kind of maybe the genesis of this. I mean, as the writer and then the director and starring in it, what kind of prompted you to get this story, on the page and then make it happen on the screen?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to take you all the way back to 4th grade when I won my grade school spelling bee. And then I went on to regionals and I lost in the first round on the word radish, and it was devastating. And ever since then, I've been fascinated by the spelling bee every year on ESPN. And I started to notice that every year it seems to be a South Asian American kid winning the spelling bee. And I thought that was an interesting thing. So I will fast forward to 2015. I was in a UCB sketch writing class, and one of my sketch ideas was, where are they now, spelling bee winners? And most of the spelling bee winners are triple PhDs working at NASA, working on the COVID vaccine. And, the very funny part of my sketch was that one of them just turned out to be a loser. And then in 2016, I did the Sundance Labs. And once you do one of the labs, you are an alumni. So I decided to go to Sundance Film Festival for the first time in 2017. And my friend Justin Chon's film Goop was premiering there. And I saw it and I was blown away. And I just cornered him at the after party and asked him how he got it made. What did he have to do? And he was like, I just got my friends and family together and we just did it. And I was like, great, that's what I'm going to do. So in 2017 is when I started writing the feature film version of Definition Please, based on that 4-page mini sketch. And I kind of went away from the comedy aspect of it and wanted to really explore why this spelling bee champion turned out to be a loser as an adult, and decided on, familial factors, her relationship with her mother, her relationship with her brother, and wrote the script throughout 2017, 2018, and then decided to make it in 2019.
That is a fantastic backstory. I mean, if you can take any script genesis to 4th grade, I think that's just great. I just think very few people are gonna be able to beat that. So you're setting a high bar. I think that's so cool. So, right, you got the script. We're here, we're doing indie film. So, you're wearing a lot of hats. So moving forward in terms of, you knew all along that you wanted to also direct as well the piece when you're writing it, and I assume obviously star in it because you're an actress and this is a very personal story. What was that process when you decided, I'm going to get, everyone together, we're going to make this film, and really moving into casting as well, obviously, because it's got what a phenomenal cast, truly, the performances you all give. I love so much that there is comedy, and when you're watching the film, you're like, oh, this is going to be delightful, and there's all the, just the cute play with the spelling bee, and then there's a turn that happens, and it really does take you by surprise initially, and it's grounded, though, in such a beautiful, important reality. So yeah, that's a really important casting to be able to have people to play in that world. So please tell me a little more and how you found these great actors.
Yeah, of course. So in 2019, when I decided to make the film, I knew early on, I was like, okay, I'm going to shoot in I'm going to shoot this summer, June of 2019, and whoever wants to get on board can get on board. And started to put my crew together, started to, I didn't have any casting sessions, which I'm so lucky to have this amazing group of friends and South Asian American talent to choose from in my community. And so Tesh was definitely one of the first ones that I reached out to. I really wanted to cast that character first. And we've known each other for a couple years. We did a parody video to A Whole New World, and
Yep.
called The
That's
Diverse
where
Film. You want to look it up on YouTube. It's lovely.
Yep, I'll be doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I already knew of him, and I knew that he was talented. And I mean, really, with all of the cast, I know what everyone is capable of. And I know that me personally as an actress, I don't really give my best work in an audition setting. So I was just aware. I knew all of my actors were going to be talented and be able to do the job. So I texted Tesh and I was like, hey, will you be in my movie? And he was like, yeah, send me the script. And then he got the script, and he has like a better version of the story because I was doing a lot of things at once at the same time.
Well,
he can go into like further detail.
she convinced me by taking me out for egg rolls here in Culver City. But she was like, hey, do you want to grab some lunch? I have a script that I'm working on. I would love to just chat with you about it. So I just thought we were just going to go and have a discussion of ideas and just chat about her work and, you know, just get to know each other a little bit better. And after we had the conversation and she basically pitched me the movie, now that I'm looking back on it, she was like, so do you want to be in the movie? That was, you know, obviously I was taken aback and I was honored, but I was like, send me the script first. Let me read it. and then I'll tell you yes or no. So, but you know, I said yes and the rest was history. So
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then with Anna, I had briefly met her at the East West Gala, and I knew of her and I knew that she was talented, and I was looking at a lot of her work, and my friend Vinny, I believe, connected me to Anna, and I sent her the script and she was very open to reading it, and then the next day she said she was in.
Yep.
And what was that like for you, Anna, in terms of what made you decide to jump on board?
Well, Sujata's a really talented writer, I think. And I knew like tangentially of her as well. And yeah, we had both been presenters at that gala. But it really was the script. It was, and then the character. It was the character of Jaya. I just really liked her because she's actually an individual. You know, I think sometimes when you play a lot of ethnic moms, sometimes those parts are written as ideas, and then you try to bring an individual to them. And this was one of the first times I actually saw an actual true individual on the page. And by that, I mean, she in her own unique, singular way, pulled from different parts of her ethnicity or culture, and she pulled from different parts of Western culture, you know, exactly whatever that means, and had unique relationships with her children that you don't typically see. So it was just interesting to me.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, it's so beautifully written. And I thought, again, the way that all of you, you know, connect with each other, it's got such an authenticity. And I'm curious in terms of the filming process, were you know, did you have like, you know, camp? Did you go out, hang out together, build that family feeling? Because it felt very real, the relationships. And of course, as we were discussing these more serious, you know, themes that are being explored as well, it's so important to have that connection. So what was the kind of the process like working together? You know, you spent a lot of time together.
Well, Tesh, tell him.
Yeah, so Anna and I have worked together before, and strangely enough, she was my mom on my previous job as well. So I did a show called Stitchers that was on Freeform for a couple of seasons, and I was lucky enough that Anna was my mother there. So I actually felt very comfortable. And when Suj sent me a text, she's like, hey, we got Anna Khaja, she's gonna play your mom. I was like, oh, her? Like, you know, kind of like joking.
Yeah, and I was like,
I thought Suj knew our connection, and I was being totally sarcastic. And
I didn't know this.
Oh, she was like, oh no, like, oh, like, do you not like her? And I was like, what? I was like, oh, you don't know. She's my mom on Stitcher.
Yeah, I was so worried for a second. I was like, oh no, this is gonna be a disaster. But
so when I heard that, you know, just kind of it put me at ease, because I know there's a lot of kind of family tension. And playing the different colors of the moments that I have with my mom, or Sunny has with her mom, and then Sunny has with his sister. And I was just like, you know what, I'm going to be totally fine. I'm going to be able to be vulnerable. I'm going to be able to hit those moments and not be afraid to explore any choice, because I know I'm surrounded by two people who are going to protect me. So
That's what a great work environment, what a great space to be able to play and do your job.
Exactly. Yeah. So to answer your question, there was a lot of time together. I think we loved it. We had a lot of fun. You know, at least from my experience, I had a lot of fun. I don't know about Suj was probably putting out fires, and Anna was like, oh, boy. So, but no, it was an incredible experience, and it was really great to be working with a bunch of South Asian and Asian artists, both in front of the camera and behind the camera. It was a very diverse group of people, and just a wonderful working opportunity for me, both just as an actor and just as a person, just be able to do this.
That's so great. Well, Sujata, what was that experience when you're actually in it? You're wearing every hat imaginable. What was the hardest part? What surprised you the most? Give us, you know, a little snapshot of what it's like to, you know, especially put yourself on camera. I mean, that is a lot of things to juggle. So what was that like for you?
yeah, I will say I was smart in that I hired the best people to be around me. And I think that's the most important thing. Obviously, with an independent film, it takes a village. So I had a great producer, Cameron Fife. I had, you know, Ricky, who is an amazing AD. And we just had really such a great crew. And then I trusted my cast to just bring it when they were in the scenes. And I was just trying to emulate some of my favorite directors who I've worked with, and two of them I worked with on Insecure were Debbie Allen and Tina Mabry. And they were just so like, they were in charge and confident, but also lovely and nurturing and kind. And I was like, that's the kind of director I want to be. And so I was just really the whole time trying to emulate them. And I know how I like it on set. So I wanted to have that environment, and I wanted to make sure that even if there were fires to be put out, that none of my cast would be, or even my crew would really know about it. It would just be like between me and the other producers, and we would work really hard to just put them out and not let anyone know about it.
That happened. I mean, that is exact, that I don't know what your experience was, but that's exactly my experience. I mean, I remember going into this, like my only concern was like, but she's acting in it and directing it. And she's wrote it. She's a producer. Like, I just don't know. And she's in every scene, practically every scene. Are you in every scene? I think you might be.
There's one scene, the spelling bee scene at the beginning of the movie.
The flag.
Right. Yeah, right. And she's in every scene. And I was just like, how is she going to do this? And then I just sat there stunned. I'd be on the phone with my husband, and he's like, well, is she stressed out? I'm like, she's not stressed out.
No, she's not.
She's not stressed out. She's less stressed out than I'm stressed out. She's not stressed out. Like, she kind of had it all handled. And I remember asking you, like, I don't understand. Like, it's at dinner, like night 3, I was like, I don't understand. How are you so cool and focused and able to do all of it? And you told me, you were like, I think I just planned really well.
Yeah. Yeah. I was over prepared for everything.
Which is great, right? Better to be over prepared and then you're not surprised.
Yeah, it's true.
It sounds like you were right where you're supposed to be, wearing all those hats. And that's what a testament with the crew saying, you know, cast and crew saying that says a lot. And by the way, just getting to know you now, I can't imagine you would be anything other than a loving and generous director and leader. So I can't imagine anything other than that. I am curious. So as the writer, were you precious with your words? Was there a lot of improv? Obviously you said this was born out of some improv. So what was that like in terms of, you know, on the day with the script?
I as a writer in general, am not very precious with my words, but it seemed like we all really stuck to the script. So, yeah.
It wasn't a thing, right? I mean, like, I think we just said the lines.
Yeah, we just said, what, even with the talent show scene, it was all written out and we just did it as written out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, for the most part. I think
Except
there
for
was a
the
couple
happy
of bullets. Yeah, they were like, sing something, and then I had to sing something that they just could get the rights to. So like, it was like one of those things.
Smart.
Like, don't sing a real song. You know what I mean?
Producer hat comes on there. Yeah, yeah, that's
She's
great.
yelling at me behind the curtain. Not that one. But, you know, for me, I come from more of a stage training background. So for me, it was like, they always stress, like, you gotta meet the writer's words, but put, you know, the words on the screen. It's their page. They're putting words to the page. It's their story. So for me, I always put, you know, reverence for the writer, but there was never an issue, because I've been on sets where like that becomes a thing or it becomes an issue. You can go either way. It's either positive or negative depending on the situation. But I feel like if we ever did go off the script, it was very minimal, and it was kind of when we deemed it appropriate. So
sounds pretty good to me. I do want to make sure that we kind of touch base on some, you know, like I said, the story just flows. It captures the audience. I can tell you the first time I saw it, like I was immediately, you know, engaged with it. And like I said, I was expecting one thing, which was definitely all that comedy, and it's beautiful and it's all there. But speaking to some of the more serious themes, mental, you know, illness and mental health, I'd love for you to kind of talk about going there. What made you decide to explore that? And then for the rest of you with the cast, all of you, like, you know, especially for your character, Sunny, talk a little bit about maybe the preparation and the experience with that. If Sujata, if you want to start.
Yeah. With the mental illness aspect of it, you know, I grew up in a very, actually lucky community in the suburbs of Pennsylvania, where I went to pretty much an all-white high school, but I had a huge Indian American community around me. We have 3 temples in that area. So on the weekends, I was hanging out with my Indian friends. And I noticed as we were growing up that a lot of us, we were under a lot of pressure to do really well in school, you know, do great on our tests, to get into certain colleges. And a lot of people collapsed under that pressure. And I saw it happening, and our, you know, the other generation, our parental generation, doesn't really communicate much about, you know, mental illness. Especially, they like to communicate about like their kids getting married or having babies or getting into Harvard, but not the, you know, the negative stuff. So I noticed that was happening, and then there's mental illness in my family, and I just wanted to you know, tackle that, because I had never really seen something in the South Asian American community, film community, before that really just tackled it head on in a very grounded, authentic way. And that was my reason to, you know, I wanted to get like the communication started about it. And I was lucky enough that Tesh was like so amazingly, you know, just killed that role.
Absolutely. That's a great segue. So what was it like stepping into Sunny?
You know, it was a little scary, you know, because I wanted to make sure that I was telling a version of the story that Suj agreed with and what she felt inspired with to make this movie. So for me, in terms of just preparation, we spoke a lot about, you know, kind of the experiences that she personally had and how that was translating to the character of Sunny. And then, you know, just going through the script and looking at the moments where he has these sort of outbursts and these breakdowns, and seeing where it sort of stemmed from. And, you know, the one advantage of being Indian, both my parents are doctors, all of my aunts and uncles are doctors, almost a lot of my friends are doctors. So I was able to tap into the medical community, either personally through my parents or my, you know, other family and friends, and just research. And, you know, we decided that we thought, you know, borderline personality disorder was something that I felt was appropriate for Sunny. And kind of now portraying that in an authentic way. I feel like a lot of times mental illness is sometimes portrayed as just very black and white. and it's like it happens and then it disappears and then it happens again. But the reality is these characters and these people live with this 24/7. So how does a human being go out throughout their day on a pendulum, kind of swinging through their moods and the atmosphere? So I just wanted to make the character as believable and as authentic as possible, and at the same time bring up the conversation within the South Asian community about mental illness, just because I feel like mental health is ignored predominantly in the South Asian community, because it can sometimes be viewed as a weakness, when it really should be discussed and brought to the forefront so that it can be treated properly for a lot of these people, because there is a lot of pressure coming from the older generation's parents to the youth, especially when it's in South Asian. So
I mean, I think that's such an incredible opportunity with this story. And speaking to that, I would jump over to Anna, for you in this role. What was that like for you as you stepped in to take on this character and the mother of these beautiful children that have these things going on?
Well, her husband is gone, and there are basically two people on earth that she has that are everything to her. They're the two halves of her heart, and her heart is broken. And I think she just wants it mended again. I think it's pretty much that simple. As far as Sunny's mental illness goes, my impression, my feeling was that Jaya knew there was a lot of pain there, but couldn't quite process the details and the medical facts, et cetera, just, and not that she couldn't process it, she chose not to process it, and really just spent more of her time on hope and on all the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful qualities her son has. I think that was her focus.
That's so beautiful. As you were talking, I was thinking, so the film ends, the story, but for all of you, what do you think happens next? Maybe a little peek into that future, because there is so much hope, and there is, so do you have an idea? Do you already know? Is there a sequel?
Sunny tried.
What happens to Jaya?
Jaya? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I mean, I could see now that things are getting better with the kids. I was going to say what I think that happens to you, Suj. I think that you slowly start to go expand into the world even more. I know you do at the end of the movie, but you continue to. Sunny does too. He finds his footing with his medications. I think Jaya might maybe 5 years from now, I think she might meet a nice Indian widow.
Ooh, I like it.
We're getting spicy.
I like it. Any other thoughts over there? What about your character?
I think realistically, I think he stays at home and works out his sort of mental health plan.
Oh, I thought you meant he worked out more.
No. He probably tries to do that. There's a certain level of delusion. I spoke to Suj about this because he's a personal trainer, and I just feel like there's a certain level of delusion that he had to sort of block out his mental illness. He didn't want to deal with it. Now that he's sort of taking it up, one-on-one, I feel like he'll get his life together, spend some quality time with his mom, without his sister, and kind of get on track. And then I feel like he'll probably end up sleeping on his sister's couch, at least for a week or two, annoy her for a little bit, and then probably head back to LA to, start his new journey in a healthier fashion. So I think he stays in fitness, but I think he focused a little bit more on his mental fitness, so.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good.
and
yeah, I think Monica definitely, she moves to Cleveland. She's loving life in Cleveland, and she sees Richie every now and then, right? And then she, keeps in touch with her family, obviously. And Cleveland is only a 3-hour drive from Pittsburgh, so she goes back home probably, every couple months. And yeah, I feel like the end of the movie is, I would hope that the audiences are left with you know, a feeling of hope. And, you know, even though it's a tiny win, it's still a win. So yeah, I think it's just the beginning of the mending of all of the relationships in the film.
I would say, as someone who's seen the film, that is exactly kind of the takeaway that I had. So I think you're right on point with, that's what you left us all with. So, you know, I know that this film is premiering in the middle of, you know, a very strange time, but you're getting the film to audiences like ours. And again, we are so grateful to have you here, but to have the film as part of our festival. And you know, want to ask, of course, like, what's next with the film, you know, and what's next with all of you? Give us a little, you know, little background on that, you know, as we can see, so we can follow what's going on next with all of you.
Yeah, I mean, with the film, we are in 6 film festivals this month. So that's exciting. So we're just doing the film festival route, doing a lot of panels, doing some press, and it's been really exciting. It's been really fun, especially in terms of, you know, coronavirus and how that affected all film festivals and independent film. And yeah, I'll just throw it over to Anna and Tesh.
Yeah, excited about all the festivals and everything for the film and how well it's been doing and been received. And I'm in another feature that will drop October 20th. And I can't remember the name of the distribution company, but it's you're gonna be able to find it streaming in a lot of places, and you can check my Instagram, which is my name, if you want to know more about it. It's called Rumble Strip.
Rumble Strip.
Rumble Strip.
Nice.
It will be available because the festival is October 22nd through the 25th. So excellent, good timing.
Perfect.
Perfect.
And you know, other than all the exciting news that's coming out for the movie and the festivals, I recently just had an animated movie drop on Netflix. I'm the voice of Ken for Barbie and Ken. So it's Barbie Dreamhouse Adventures. They changed the title so many times, but that's the main title, the overhead title of the show. But if you Google that, you'll find it. It's on Netflix. It came out a couple of weeks ago, and I think they have some newer stuff coming out down the pipeline. So I'll get the phone call.
What does Ken sound like?
That's so cool.
Ken kind of just sounds like this. It's like, hey Anna, what's up?
That's not what I
What are
expected.
you doing later? That's it. It's just like,
I thought it was going to be like, hey Anna, I'm Ken.
no, you know, sometimes I try to put that voice on and they're like, that's too sexy. Barbie can't take that. So we got to keep the will they won't they thing going on, you know, for the next 50 years. So
that is amazing. Again, you know, I did not see that coming as a wrap up, that to be in the presence of the voice of Ken is pretty special.
Most people don't.
I think all the women here have been dreaming about this for a long
and we're providing this here in Naples. We're providing this moment. So thank you for that big reveal.
You know, you're welcome. Anything I can do to help.
We so appreciate that. And Sujata, for you, you know, what's next, including obviously with the film?
Yeah, I mean, I've been writing a lot. So out of quarantine, you know, I wrote a pilot, I wrote a feature, and as soon as we get out of quarantine, I'm just going to be ready to shoot to the next thing, and hopefully with all of my South Asian American friends all over again.
That sounds fantastic. Well, again, I just want to thank you all so much for making time, for being here, for bringing this beautiful film that is so universal. I mean, it just resonates, and I'm so excited to see what's next with the film, with all of you. And I want to thank our audience. Thank you for supporting the Naples International Film Festival and Artists Naples. And again, thanks so much for being here. Be healthy, take care of yourselves, and we look forward to having you back, and in person, hopefully sometime very soon. All right, thanks so much.
Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.